The Detroit Lions are about a month out from training camp, and we're still waiting to see if Zadarius Smith is going to be part of this team. But before that, or maybe before that, there is some business that we have to attend to. Speaking about business, it looks like Thor, a.k.a. Alex Anzalone, is standing on business. Now, we've talked about this several different times about Anzalone wanting another contract. He still has 1 year remaining on his deal with the Detroit Lions, and he wants to be paid like the linebacker he is. Now, whether or not he's worth what you think is debatable, but we will say this. When Alex Anzalone is in the game versus when he's out of the game, it makes a whole lot of difference. He came in for his first game back was the game that we needed to win to get the first seed. And within the first series, Anzalone was all over the place. So I definitely think that he is probably the anchor of the defense. I think it's Aiden Hutchinson, it's Thor, and then Aiden. And I think Alex needs to be paid. But we don't hear a lot of ruckus from players on our team. We really don't. Brad will take care of business. He might not value the pass rush like some other folks, but he does take care of business when it comes to his own. But Alex Anzalone is standing on business. Check this out. This is a man of few words when it comes to social media, especially on Twitter. And check this out. This is coming from his Twitter page. And this was a few hours ago. He's got the thinking emoji, but what is he thinking about? Well, a few hours before he retweeted this, PFF put ranking the top 10 linebacker units. Check this out. First, you have the Philadelphia Eagles, and number 2 is the Detroit Lions, followed by the New England Patriots, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Washington Commanders, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the San Francisco 49ers, the New Orleans Saints, the New York Jets, and the Minnesota Vikings rounding out the top 10. But the Detroit Lions are the second, according to PFF, when it comes to ranking the top 10 linebacker units in the NFL. And we've talked about this at length. Alex Anzalone, he doesn't say much, but he's speaking right here. If you look at the tweets, and we've been following this thing the whole time, he was not there for any of the previous organized team activities. At least if my memory serves me correctly, he wasn't there. And he's been tweeting, like I said, he does not do this a lot, but he's been tweeting things that will back up the claims or the notion that he needs to be paid as such. Now, we've went over this in our previous videos about where he currently ranks in as far as linebacker pay. And when we looked at it before, he was actually ranked 44th. Now, Alex Anzalone has dropped down one, and he is the 45th paid linebacker when it comes to a salary and contract and such. But I did see this as I was looking up some information about a projection for Alex Anzalone's contract to basically a contract extension. Don't forget, he is under contract for one more season. But before we do that, let's take a look at what his current contract is so we can refresh ourselves with that. In 2025, Alex Anzalone will earn a base salary of $6 million while carrying a cap hit of 7.2 and a dead cap of 2.4. Now, he did sign a contract, a 3-year deal, $18 million. I want to say that's the same contract that Monty signed when he first got here, but he got an extension after 1 year. David Montgomery got an extension after 1 year. He's still really on the first year or the second year. Well, he's going to the third year of that contract, but he still has a couple more years to go. Alex Anzalone going into his last year of the contract. Now, the Lions did have a potential out. Of course, they're not going to take it. Then we have the void year after that. So right now, he has a base salary this season of $6 million. He got a signing bonus of 7.2. All right. So he wants to be paid accordingly. Now, let's take a look at what Pride of Detroit has as a projected extension for Alex Anzalone. Says, I see a 2-year deal around worth $15 million with $9 million in guarantees, making the most sense for the Lions linebacker because Alex Anzalone is 30. I believe he'll be going on 31. He'll be 31 in week 3 of the season, somewhere around there. says that would bring his 3-year compensation to $21 million. This is coming from Pride of Detroit, of course, while the guaranteed money would likely include the signing bonus, Anzalone's 2025 salary, and a portion of his 2026 salary. Anzalone gets a good chunk of guaranteed money, while the Lions can likely lower his cap hit for the 2025 year and keep flexibility as mentioned in 2026 and 2027. For the projection is 2 years, a 2-year extension, $15 million with $9 million in guarantees. Now, I don't know if Alex is going to go for this. I just don't think he's going to go for this. Now, granted, he has to balance his age, but his production, when he's out of the lineup, it is a difference. It is a difference. So I think that Alex Anzalone is doing exactly what he should be doing. He's leveraging his play with the contract, with his contract extension. Because, like I said, when he's not on the field, it is a significant difference than when he is on the field. And the fact that PFF has the Lions as the second highest rated linebacker core, which is, you got Anzalone, Derek Barnes was missing for most of the season. You had like Rodriguez for a little bit. You had, we had Ezekiel Turner. We had some guys in there, but even so, we managed to somehow get ranking of number 2. So I'm not mad at him, and I respect that he's doing that. Now, you could argue, hey, I've got a year left on the contract. He's got a year left, and a lot of people have a problem with, especially these people making a bunch of money, and it seems like everyone will not play out their entire contract. They sign a piece of paper saying that they were going to be committed to this team for this long and that they would play, and they accepted it at the time. So I have different thoughts on that. I'm going to side with the players on this because the NFL, I've seen them mistreat players a lot, and these players have to look out for their future. Now, there could be other ways that they could do it, maybe some language in the contract or insurance policies or something like that. But if you sign a contract and you start to ball out and you're going into the last year of your deal, you would want security. That's what this is. This is compensation for his play, and it's also security as well. Because if Alex gets hurt, look at what happened to Hutch. Hutch is the perfect example. So Aiden Hutchinson going into year 4, this guy, I'm going to tell you how it would have gone had Hutch not got hurt. Aiden Hutchinson would have won Defensive Player of the Year. He would have had the most sacks of the year, so he'd have won the sack award, and he would have been paid already. If Hutch would not have been hurt, I believe that he would have been paid already. But he got hurt. Now, granted, he had 2 years left on his deal, but Penei Sewell got extended after 3 years. Hutch was going on that same trajectory. Amon-Ra St. Brown got extended with 1 year left. We talking about extending Jamison Williams. So, Alex, I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him at all. So, he has 1 year on his contract, but he is probably worth more than he's getting paid. He is the 45th paid linebacker as far as average. Let's look real quick and let's see who he's in the company of. Now, yes, Josh Hines Allen, Brian Burns, TJ Watt, they all go under linebackers, which is kind of unfair because they do more covering or more rushing than covering. But you have Andrew Van Ginkel. Andrew Van Ginkel is higher, right? So you're talking about, okay, he's higher than Fred Warner. Let's go down. Let's see. Let's go all the way down here and look at where he actually is. I think I passed him. Right here. Alex Anzalone, Josie Jewell, Bud Dupree, Matt Milano. Okay? Look at these guys. Pete Werner. I think, and I'm not saying that these guys are bad, but Alex is balling out. Derek Barnes. Look at this. Look, and this dude was hurt last year. Stop the cap, bro. Of course. You know what? Stand on business, Alex. Stand on business. This is probably what did it. This is probably what did it, man. You had a dude coming off his rookie deal. He was on the last year of his deal, if I'm not mistaken. Got hurt, and you paid him. Now, granted, Alex is still under contract. But still, Come on, man. Stop the cap, bro. I'm not mad at you at all, Alex. Stand on business, bro. Stand on, and I'm actually surprised. I'm surprised at this because Brad and Dan brought this guy in. He came with their regime. He was one of the focal points, like the anchor points in 2021 when this team came. When we had, like, I think Deshaun Elliott was part of the team. Tyrell Williams, y'all remember him? Like, we had a bunch of no-name kind of has-been cast-offs on this team. Amon-Ra St. Brown hadn't even become anything yet. And you extend Derek Barnes, and he's making more money than now. Again, I understand he signed the contract. That goes without saying. But if I ball out, I expect a raise. You would too, right? You would expect a raise. If you're probably really good at your job, you're probably going to. What happens? Let me ask you a question. What happens if there's no more reward that you are you going to put the same effort in your job if you had maxed out, if you had been there and you maxed out? I don't know. You can answer that. But it's always, this guy is playing at a high level. He needs to be paid. He needs to be paid. And there's no reason at all that Derek Barnes should be making more money than Alex Anzalone. There's zero reason for that. None. It took Derek Barnes a couple years to come on, and then the last year of his deal, he gets hurt. Now, granted, it wasn't his fault. I understand low hit wasn't his fault, but still, Alex comes, breaks his forearm, comes in, back for the biggest game of the season, changes the defense, and he's still waiting to be paid. I hope he don't show up. That's just my thought, man. Look, like I told y'all, man, I am a fan of this team. I'm not a draft analyst. I'm not part of the salary cap. That's not my concern. My concern is winning a Super Bowl. Brad's concern and the team's concern is making sure that happens. I put my money down to become a season ticket holder. I'm going to be paying all of this money to go watch this team. So that's his problem. And look, I saw somewhere that the salary cap is going, like, we going to be negative next year. So Brad got some work to do anyway. There's a lot of extensions rolling around. How we going to pay Jahmyr Gibbs next year? Because he about to get paid. Jahmyr Gibbs, Brian Branch. We already paid Aleem, Kirby. We got Brian, Jahmyr, Jack. We got to decide what we're going to do. Sam Laporta, what we're going to do with him. We still have an extended Hutch, so Brad got his work to do. I'm just saying, if I'm Alex Anzalone, I'm standing on business. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. Last shirt of the bunch. I actually ordered more shirts yesterday, and they should be here in the next week or week and a half, hopefully. I'm looking forward to that. So we are probably going to have something special dropping right after launch. So be ready for that. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. Brad Holmes, pay the man. He earned it.